Hi, gorgeous Gemini, and welcome to your weekly energy reading. Let's just see what the rest of the week is got in store for you, as well as potentially the upcoming weekend, and hopefully it will be fantastic. Also, if you haven't checked out my channel for your other readings, please do so. Like, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell, all that other great stuff. I'd love to hear from you in the comments as well if this resonates for you. And don't forget to hit the notification bell. I will be putting up love readings. So let's hit it, shall we? All right, boom. All right, so we've got some big cards here. These are, looks like you have had conflict, okay? Or you're in conflict, or you've got conflict coming, okay? So if you're in conflict, you already know this. You've got friction, maybe with coworkers, maybe with family members, maybe with your significant other and their family members, whatever. It is not uncommon at this time of year for family conflict, that's for sure. A little bit too much family in your face for a lot of us. Could be work conflict, whatever it may be. I do feel like you are having some conflict or will be having some conflict shortly. However, I do see that you have King of Swords energy here, and I do feel like for most of you, this is your energy. So a lot of you, I feel like you are just like ready to say enough's enough. Okay. I don't give two figs about what you've got going on. I'm going to wield my sword. I'm going to call it a day. I'm done with it. You're done with the drama. You're done with the pettiness. A lot of it, I think you feel like, it's just, you know, it's just nonsense. It's almost like high school drama to you, right? It's stuff that you don't feel like dealing with. You're like, it's too much. It's ridiculous. It's pettiness. It may be fighting over who gets to make what for dinner, you know, for the holidays or something, you know, who's going to buy who what, or, you know, fighting over why somebody is not coming to this event versus that event. And you're just like, I don't give a crap, you know, whoever wants to come, whoever doesn't, I don't care. Either you want to be part of the family, you don't. Either you want to be part of this work, you know, project, you don't. Either you want to be part of this work party or you don't. Like, you know, grow up. I think that's kind of the mentality you're at this point. You are King of Swords at this point, and you're like, I'm done. And I'm cutting out anybody who is causing me pain, suffering, drama, annoyance, whatever at this time. I'm sick of hearing it. I'm sick of dealing with it. And I really feel like that's how many of you are. You're at the end of your rope, right? You're just like, enough. And for many of you, you might be like, I already have children. I already have grandchildren. I don't care. I'm done dealing with this nonsense. Take it somewhere else, right? But in the interim, I do feel like you are struggling with this, right? You're tired of it, but it's causing you stress. And I don't know how it couldn't, right? It's so easy for people to say, and we've all been there where they'll go, oh, why you let it bother you? You shouldn't let it bother you. It's impossible not to let it bother you if these are work people, let's say, okay? And you're working your tail off and you've got these people who just want to sit and bicker and fight and be petty and whatever, and they're not getting stuff done. And you're like, look, I want it done. It needs to be done by the end of the fiscal year, or it needs to be done by this calendar time, or I want it done before I go on holiday break or whatever. And they're affecting you, right? You can't just, you know, dismiss that. That causes you stress and anxiety, right? If you're dealing with people in your family and they're bickering back and forth, okay, and you're like, okay, if it was just up to me, I would cut these people off and say, move along. I don't give a crap, right? But you've got a matriarch or patriarch in your family who's like, no, it's not the same if we don't have the whole family together and everything perfect and this and that. And so for them, you are doing your absolute best to try to keep it together and try to bring the peace, right? And that's stressing you out because here you are trying to deal with this. You wish you didn't have to. You normally wouldn't. You'd be like, shut up, right? But I'm getting this distinct vibe that, you know, you feel like you're obligated to, in some cases you are, if this is a work situation, you're obligated to make these people act like adults. And that is ridiculous, right? And for others, you're obligated, or in your mind, you feel that way. For other family members, you feel obligated to make people act right or treat each other right. You know, again, act like adults. Just to get through a holiday or a function or whatever it may be. And you're just really sick and tired of it, but it is stressing you out, okay? the only thing I can say is, we'll get more cards on this, but I would say at this particular point, I know it's of no use to say, don't let it stress you out, because you can't help but let something stress you out when people are acting like absolute, pains in your tail and children when they shouldn't be, right? But, what I would say is just try to stay as steady as you can on your course of what you need to do. And hopefully those of the people around you that aren't doing what they need to will hopefully follow suit. So let's see what your biggest challenge is, as though this is not enough, all this bickering and nonsense. Okay, King of Wands. So I feel like there's, a big opportunity here. And I do think that is your biggest challenge, is the big opportunity. And for you, because you are a King of Swords energy, and because you are like, I would just love to get out of here. I would just love to take this opportunity and go. I don't want to have to deal with this. A vacation presents itself, rather than deal with this whole family nightmare at Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa, Ramadan, whatever holiday you share, whatever it is. I would rather just be gone. Okay. Rather than deal with this drama at, work, I've been given an opportunity to take over a different project, or, go to another company, or whatever it may be. I would just rather take this opportunity and go, right? And that may be the case. Now, for some of you, that challenge may be a valid challenge, right? You may be like, I can't work with these people anymore because this is not something new, right? I'm dealing with people who act like children all year round. It's just really grating on me right now because it's like end of the year, holiday time. I got too much on my plate and I'm over it, right? So if that's the case, this may be a valid opportunity to go to another position, deal with other people, work with other people, go to a different job, okay? However, for many of you, if this is an opportunity to, head out, go somewhere else for the holidays, your spouse's family, or, your kids just want to do a quiet, intimate type of just immediate family situation. This may be the bane of your existence right here. You may be saying, I would love to do that, but I just can't, right? This may be one of the last few years I have to spend with grandma, mom, dad, whatever. You never know. Everybody's getting older. You never know from year to year what could happen, right? I don't want to let them down. I don't want them to not have the perfect holiday season that they want, yada, yada. I'm going to have to stick it out, suffer through, figure out a way to make this happen for them, deal with this drama. And it's killing me, because I could just hop right on this plane and go on a vacation. I could just hop right on here and go to my spouse's family, which gets along swimmingly. I could just stay home with my kids, and take that opportunity to just have the most peaceful time, whatever it may be. But, I do think for most of you, that's not something that you really feasibly feel like is in your best interest. So you have to weigh it out depending on your specific situation. But I do feel like that's a challenge, is that you have opportunities to get away from it. I just think for some of you, those opportunities would not make you feel like you'd accomplished what you wanted to, or that you'd let the that you'd let the wrong people down, rather. The people that you wanted to make happy, you'd let down. So let's see what we've got here. The Psychic deck on the Five of Swords. Shadow. Okay, so I do feel like here, that, you are a positive and you have a negative here, and you are just, it's pushing and pulling. And I really do feel like that. And it may be at work again, like I said, or it may be somebody in your family, it may be a sibling that is just really everything you are doing to try to, we really need to get everything on board to make mom and dad happy, and they're just, I don't care. I'll do what I want. And you're like, why does it always have to fall on me? Why do I always have to be the positive light and you always have to be the darkness? Why does this always have to happen? And you're feeling like that. And I do feel like that is causing the conflict. I feel like you feel like there's selfishness, true selfishness there. And there may very well be. And it's weighing heavy on you. Okay. But I do think that you are always going to be the light and do what's right. But I do think that you have been burdened by the shadow before. So again, if this is a work thing and this is a constant, these people are constantly your teammates that are just constantly pulling you down, pulling you down, pulling you into that dark side, and just you can't get past it. You know, this may very well be a good opportunity to pony up your sword as the King of Swords and get out, right? But if it's a family situation that you really just can't detach from, and you really have people that you feel obligated to make things right for and good for, you may just have to, you know, battle it out like you've probably been doing for your whole life. And I'm getting that distinct feeling for a lot of you. There's somebody in your family that is just the bane of your existence. They fight over everything, right? I don't care if it's like, who's going to make the potato salad? It's a fight, right? I don't care if it's like, I'll bring this, I'll bring that. It's a fight. It's just nonstop, right? And you're like, I am so over it. Every day it's a stress, a new stress over something stupid, right? In your mind. Anyway, like, just why? Why? Because they act like children. So let's see. We have the moon deck here. So let's pull something on the King of Wands over the King of Swords. And we have discernment. And I think this is a beautiful card because for this, it's telling you, you have to be very discerning again. Okay. So I think that's how you're going to have to decide. Again, I think this could actually, this challenge card could actually be something that is a challenge worth, you know, taking on. To be honest with you, it might not be a negative challenge if this is an opportunity for a job situation, or, you know, to get out. If this is something that you really don't necessarily have a specific loyalty or tie to the people, it's a work thing, and these people are consistent. It's really hitting you hard now because it's that time of year, or this or that. Maybe you're dealing with it on two fronts, family fighting and work fighting, and it's just like enough, right? Your kids are killing you, the whole nine, right? And this is your opportunity to get a job somewhere else, or take a different project at work with different coworkers, that kind of thing. You know, you may want to be discerning and do that kind of thing. But for those of you who, you know, you have the opportunity to do something else, you know, I think this is where your discernment comes in, that you really need to say, okay, but would I be happy if I just up and left, or I just up and went to some other, you know, my significant other's family or whatever? Would that make me feel good? Because I'm still going to be abandoning those that I care about the most when they need me to make everything perfect for them this time of year. And that's what you do. You are the fixer, right? You're the family fixer. And if that's what you do, and that's what you feel obligated to do, and that's what you feel proud of, you're not going to be happy if you don't do that, because that's who you are, right? So keep that in mind. This is where your discernment is going to be, you know, very important in deciding what is critical to you, what is important to you, and making your decisions based on that, right? Because you are going to have, I think, beautiful opportunities to, you know, have other options than dealing with this drama, this bickering, this fighting, this stress. I do think you are. I think they're coming in hot as great opportunities to either get away from it, or move on from it, or just dump it. But you know, is it something you could live with? This is where you're going to have to be severely discerning. So let's get you a last card here. Okay. Just a general advice card, and close you out, see what you've got going on here. And this is on the 9 of Swords. So this is, you know, you're stressed out, and I can totally imagine, you know, but again, you know, I think a lot of the discernment is you don't want to continue to be stressed out. You want to do something that's going to make you feel like at the very least you did the best you could, right? When all's said and done, when push comes to shove, everything's over with, you can say, I did my best, right? Nobody wants to come out and say, well, I gave up, so I just walked out, and now I feel like crap about myself, so now I feel even more stressed, right? That's not the end goal you want. So oneness is the way. How can you show more compassion and acceptance towards those you don't understand? And I think this is a perfect card for this, because I do think that while you're stressed as crap, and while there's opportunities to get out of it, I think, you know, you're going to have to try to figure out, you know, how can we work together? How can we make this the best, you know, with both of our differences, put them together to make the best things we can, you know, both sides of the positive and the negative shadow here. Can we put it together to make it functional and positive for all involved? Okay. What's the path of least resistance we can do to get there, so that in the end, even though it might be stressful for me getting there, once it's all said and done, I can relax and say, at least I know I am confident in that I did the best I could to provide the best, whatever job well done for my company, or my boss, or, holiday season for my, XYZ family member that I love so much. And that will be something that you can take moving forward. Okay. Because, I think otherwise, if it's something where you say, I'm just never going to be able to get on board with this, the only way I'm going to be able to, understand people is if I get different people around me who are more like-minded in a job position, then this may be where this challenge is actually worth considering. But again, I think the discernment here is more telling you, you need to find a way to work together with these people, at least through this job. Then maybe consider, something different going forward. But at this particular point, work together, try to get it done, get the stress off your plate, get it behind you, and make everybody as happy as you possibly can. And sometimes that's just what we have to do with the holidays. Sometimes that's just what we have to do with coworkers too. That doesn't mean we have to continue to do it after the job is done though, or the project is done. We can always move on if the options are there. Okay, in that regard. But, I think at this particular moment, if you're knee deep in it, this may be perfect advice for you to try to understand what it is that they need from you, to, even if it's just to kind of pacify them. Even, I don't care if you're patronizing them to a point that you're just pacifying them in a passive aggressive way. I don't care what you're doing. Get it done just to get it through for those that you care about pleasing, right? So I know that may sound like terrible advice, but it's also going to be what keeps you in mentally sound position instead of stressed out every single night of your life right now. And that's what you really are hoping for. We want you to be mentally fit, so, and enjoy the holiday. So, or enjoy your work progress or your work outcome, so it doesn't affect your reviews and things negatively. So hopefully this is helpful for you, informative to you. If it was, please do like, subscribe, share, all that other great stuff. And I hope to see you back very soon. Bye.